casket, and there the woman was alive. Oh my God. She lived another 10 years. And then she died. Everybody back at the funeral, you know, their condolences and everything else. And then the time to bury her came, and the pallbearers, this time, take the casket and they go. And as they were approaching the door, the husband in the back of the room shouts, "Mind the door!" He didn't want another minute of her. You see, and why do we laugh about this? Why do we laugh? I mean, it is funny, I know, but I love these jokes. But in reality, it gives marriage a bad name. You know, once you've heard 5, 10, 12, 100 of these jokes, you begin to believe. Oh my God, marriage? No, I don't want marriage. Marriage is a burden, is a pain. And that's unfortunately how a lot of people tend to believe. They tend to believe in what everybody is saying. I'm not saying you don't have your own opinions, we all have our own opinions, but we often underestimate the power of influence of everything that happens around us. And when you're just being bombarded constantly with this message that marriage is a prison, etc., even if privately you really want marriage, slowly, given time, you begin to embrace public opinion as your own. Then you find yourselves repeating the same things. And on it goes. It's the same thing that happens with God. A lot of people privately believe in God. Most people believe in God. Even in the UK, research shows that. But even though they have this belief, this certainty inside their heart that there is something, even if they don't know what or who, but they have this certainty or this something that tells them that there is a higher power, that there is God. But because belief in God has been publicly ridiculed, what has happened is that a lot of people who believe in God, who have been made to feel stupid because of it, they have chosen to be quiet about that. And then stay quiet about it for long enough, and all those who are against it are very loud. What starts to happen is a lot of people begin to change their personal convictions for public opinion. And public opinion becomes their opinion as well. And that's what happens to marriage, and what has happened to God, and it's very sad. But clearly, marriage is not the problem. And I'm going to prove to you marriage is not the problem. I want to make an analogy between marriage and money again, because money everybody understands very easily. You know, marriage is not a person. Marriage does not have a personality, a will of its own. Marriage is an idea. Marriage is a perfect arrangement for two people who love each other to stay together and build a life together. That's what marriage is. Marriage is not a person with its own will, so it cannot be bad. Especially when it's worked for a lot of people. And money is not a person either. Money does not have a personality. It doesn't speak. It doesn't feel anything. Money is money. And it's a tool for you to meet your needs. So what happens is that when we talk about money, when you don't have enough money, when you're poor, when you're broke, what do? Do you blame it on money when you're broke? Do you blame it on money because you're poor? Do you? Never seen anybody fighting money or giving up on money and say, you know what? I hate this. I've never seen poor people say, I hate money. You know what? Money is just a piece of paper. It's just a copy. But you see how it hurts. However poor a person may be, you will never see this person do this. Be angry at money or throw money away. Ah, money. To hell with money. I don't want anything to do with money. No. What do they do? Is you hold on to what little you have, because you already have little. So you hold on to the money you have, and you work harder to make more of it. You go to school, you employ your efforts, you talk to people, you go on courses, you learn basically how to get yourself out of poverty, because money is a good thing. So, why is it then that when people divorce, when marriage doesn't work for them, when they separate or live through a miserable marriage, they blame it on marriage? They don't blame it on money. They know they have to just change the way they're dealing with money, learn different ways to make sure they get money, but on marriage, the problem is marriage. No, the problem is not marriage. You just have to learn how to work harder at it. Just use your intelligence to make this thing, which is beautiful and perfect, work for you. So, the truth is that money is good, and marriage is not bad, as people say. Marriage is also good. Marriage is very good. It's what you do with these things that decides what's going to happen to you in relation to them. Do it right, and you will get results. So you see, you've been lied to. A lot of you have been believing this lie. Marriage is the problem. Marriage is the problem. No, marriage is not the problem. Marriage is good. Marriage is good. It's the best thing that can happen for a person to be stable, emotionally, health-wise, financially, for children. It's the best thing for a human being to prosper, to thrive.
And people, they have believed in this lie because many times, not only because they hear people say it, you know, Hollywood say it, preach it, everything, but because maybe they saw that at home. They looked at their parents fighting, getting a divorce. So they started thinking, well, maybe this is because this doesn't work. So what they do, they grow up and they move in together. But that doesn't work either. That doesn't work either. They still fight. They're moving together, they're not married, they still fight.
The thing is that what the mistake people are making, a lot of people, is that they are loving with their heart and not with their brain. When you love with your heart, you are subject to your emotions. And emotions, you know, are up and down. Someday you feel in love with this person, some days you want to strangle that person, right? And then you love them again. That's how emotions are. You get angry, you get happy. Emotions are emotions. But when you use your head to practice love, then you learn how to make it work. That's how marriage should be done. With your head, not with your heart. I hate this heart shape that they associate with love. I hate it. Because, you know, people do this, they take photos, right? Probably done it yourself, right? In other words, love. You associate the heart shape with love. That's one of the most damaging things that have happened. Oh, that's just silly, that's not damaging. It is, because you don't love out of your heart. You know, it was back in the 19th century, actually, when science discovered that the heart was not the center of life, because until then, until the 19th century, people believed that the heart was the center of life. Everything came from here. Intelligence, skills, you know, everything, feelings, everything came from here. And then they invented the microscope, and later on, brain scans and all of that. And only recently, the past 20 years or so, they've made huge advances and they discovered back in the 1900s that the heart wasn't the center of life. It's only a pump for blood in our body, and everything actually happens here. The control room is here. That's what they found out over a century ago. But when it comes to relationships, we are more than a century behind. We are still thinking that we love with our hearts. We don't. Feelings are also here. Everything is here. You have to love with your brain, meaning that you have feelings, but in the same place you have intelligence to control those feelings. Yes, sir. The same intelligence that you use at work, when you are angry or upset, you're feeling emotional at your colleague or your boss, but you smile. You treat them nicely. Because you know if you don't, you lose your job, right? The same brain that helps you control yourself in that situation is the brain that you can use to not shout at your spouse, to not do things because you're angry and hurt that person. But people say, no. Love is different. No. Love is, it's like they see love as something wild that they can't control. And the truth is you can. So, quit this idea that you have to love out of your heart. To make marriage work, you have to use your brain, just like you do at work. You know, you say to your husband, to your wife, we have this problem. Here's the problem we have. We are having this problem. Okay, I caught you contacting your ex on Facebook. That's the problem. Okay, a very common problem nowadays, right? Either the ex or someone that they shouldn't be contacting. I caught this or I found this. That's a problem. What are we going to do about this? Right? Rather than